That moment when everyone read chapter 354 and 355, it was like, wow, finally, thank you. You have brought her back. The moment that we all been waiting for, Casca's return during the Dreamscape chapters. Shurik and Farnese were so busy trying to restore Casca back together that they came across something so important that it really would make or break what happens to Casca next. So let's discuss the importance of why did Casca scream at the end of chapter 355. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, and share this video. It really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate everything that you guys have been doing and just sticking with me and supporting me to the very end. Just a quick recap, FYI, there's gonna be spoilers. Farnese and Shurik have gone into Casca's dream / mind to find out how they can return her back to normal, per Guts' wish. Again, that's something to keep in mind, per Guts' wish. There are a few things that were interesting that I saw that I think we should talk about. And there was a few things that I think that they saw that they had no business looking at. You know, one being, Casca and Guts making love. Farnese was way into it, way too much. She gonna cover, Shurik's eyes and say, oh no, don't look, but yet she's looking.
What the fuck?
Huh, how ironic. Okay, so now when we fast forward, so they're collecting all the pieces of Casca, fragments of herself that she's lost throughout the years and just throughout, from the eclipse. And they come across something important at the end. Now, at the end, they were at the last fragment, which would look like to be a monster to Farnese and Shurik, but it was Guts and Casca's baby, corrupted, which was the center of all the madness that broke Casca. From seeing everyone being sacrificed to Griffith violating her and Guts watching it all go down, and all of that flowing into Casca just screaming of agony and pain, which ripped her mind, destroyed her, and turned her into a doll, which was illustrated. Then after that, all that being said and done, something that was majorly neglected by Shurik and Farnese was the fact that there was an anathema on Casca's heart. So let's break down anathema real quick. So definition of anathema, and we're going to focus on the second one. The second one says a formal curse by a Pope Council of the Church.
What?
So if we break this down, we can start by 1, the God's hand, specifically Void, branded everyone in the Band of the Hawk, period, and cursed Casca and Guts and everyone along with them that their fate was sealed. They're going to die. They're going to be sacrificed, basically. Point blank, that's it. Now let's look at the second definition. So something or someone that one vehemently dislikes. Now, she hated everything that went down, losing her friends, specifically Judo. That was the most important memory that stuck out, along with Guts seeing what he saw and Griffith, but we can talk about that later. Now, knowing all these things related to the curse, they proceeded placing that heart back into Casca. Now, knowing all that they knew, both Shurik and Farnese, that there was a curse on her heart, they still proceeded to place Casca's heart back into her chest. And the one thing that's most surprising and shocking is from Shurik, hearing what Skull Knight actually told her and Guts. There is no guarantee your wish will be her wish. And that simple fact that she didn't even take into consideration to maybe go back and face the monsters and, maybe try to remove the curse. I don't know. I don't know how they would have proceeded, but I definitely wouldn't have not proceeded by placing that heart back into her. It is something that I think they should have really considered before, moving forward. And I just thought that that was pretty careless on Shurik's part to forget about that. So then let's move towards the end of the dream. So we have Griffith. I don't even know why this guy keeps showing up everywhere. There is no place that this man doesn't show up. I don't understand it, but there's an importance of that. But before Casca's subconscious mind departed, she made a face and said, "You can see him," and then she parted back into the vessel. Now, the importance of this scene, I'm telling you, this is so important. Casca still can't see Guts, and the fact that her subconscious mind said, "You can see him," and then that was it. It's like, one, Farnese, you can see Guts, but she cannot see her. And I don't know if, Farnese was even thinking about that as she had, placed her back into her vessel, but it just, maybe it didn't resonate, maybe it didn't click with Farnese. But let's keep it moving. Now, the importance of all this, which all this correlates to the last page of 355. In the dream, Casca saw Guts, and she was in a nice gown, looking all prettied up and not looking like a bum like she has been for the years. And then when Guts was walking towards her, she saw Guts, and then if you look in the cornea of her eye, she saw Guts, and then then she began to scream bloody murder. Now, why is that? Well, it's because there is an energy / curse surrounding around Guts and Casca, specifically around Guts, but also Casca. So the importance of that is that she would never be able to see him as long as that curse is placed upon him, aka branded. Now, at the same time, there is also an critical factor, and that is what happened in the eclipse. And what happened in the eclipse was like the catalyst to further engrave the branding and further that curse. So that's one aspect. And then on the second aspect was the fact that you saw in the image was Griffith, but it was in his broken stage pre-eclipse. So these two factors is why I think she screamed the most, because she saw Guts, and Guts has this energy curse surrounding around him, and it's the same thing that surrounds her, but it's so much worse, you know, when she sees Guts, because one, he lived, two, he saw everything that went down, and you know, there's no denying what is surrounding the two of them, and that's one aspect. And then the other image was Griffith pre-eclipse. I mean, that day when she saw Griffith in his weakest form was the most devastating thing to Casca, because she was like, this is the person I used to love, and now look at him, he's frail, he's weak, I can't leave him. And you know, honestly, I just don't think she has come to terms with that whole situation, because on top of that, I don't even think she's even aware that this same man violated her. That hasn't even came into the memory. All the images that we've been seeing have been Guts being pinned down, Judo being killed, and everybody else getting slaughtered, eaten up, and then huge monsters. I mean, that's all we keep seeing as far as the images go. Even when Shurik and Fernies were going through her memories, that's all they were seeing. But we do know one thing. All of this was confirmed in real time in chapter 359, when all she said was the trigger name Judo, and then she dropped to the floor. That was one, struck a chord, because she was like, oh, he's dead. And then two, when Guts turned around and said, you're right, and then she looked at Guts, she couldn't even see the guy. She just saw monsters and evil auras and things of that nature, and she just began to scream bloody murder. Now, would you say this is predetermined? I mean, let's go to the clip of this.
In this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? At least it is true that man has no control, even over his own will.
Yes, I would say yes. It already happened in her dream, so there's nothing to dispute. So now, why would any sane person that had witnessed that in a dream of somebody's mind push for that same person to go see that person that triggered the bloody murder scream? And I am talking about Fernies, dumbass, and the teacher for not telling her, yo, don't do anything. You know what we saw in her dream. Remember that curse mark. So important. I mean, that's the reason why we should just let it be. Let's not force the issue. Let's tell it to like kind of stay away from Guts for now, and you know, just kind of keep at bay. But that did not happen. That was far from the truth. Fernies pushed the issue, and therefore the whole scenario was triggered. But again, this is the reason why Casca screamed at the end of the Dreamscape chapter. It was related to her initial scream from the eclipse, but also because she saw Guts, which triggered everything that went down the eclipse, but also seeing Griffith in his weakened state. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree. We could talk about this in the comments below. If you're looking for some of the most amazing content, Mastermind Comics in the building can get you what you need. Be sure to like, subscribe for more content from us. Also, go ahead and watch why Berserk is so amazing while you're on this channel. You know you want to.